Monday was pretty much the perfect response to Saturday, I guess, really.
Ooh, yes, it was. I like 1-0s, don't get me wrong, but I'll take a 4-0 any day of the week. Yeah, it was. It was a great response in the first half. We actually got the deal sort of over and done with by half time, if truth be known. And then when a player got sent off, who used to play for us actually, Cole, 55 minutes on the clock, it was a mountain for them guys to climb. And it wasn't a case of, you know, how many was it going to be. It was a case of patience and keep entertaining, keep playing the kind of football we've been playing, and if the chances come along, hopefully the players that it falls to or they fall to will put them away. And it sort of became a little bit frustration that the fourth one didn't come till late on, but you know, 4-0 was a magnificent response. If truth be known, I think 4.5 of the games out of 5 I've been delighted with the players. Probably just the second half at Warrington, where we took our foot off the gas, conceded really a sloppy goal in, you know, the equaliser from a set piece, which was a second or third phase of that set piece. And when the ball goes in the back of the net, it took the stuffing out of us a wee bit. But we've been there, seen it and done it. You know, at the end of last season was horrendous, you know, so we know what it feels like to hurt. Certainly this group do anyway. And then pre-season, as I say, we prepared them mentally and physically for what was to come. But yeah, probably about 4.5 of the 5 games I've been delighted with. And then Friday comes around where the league table's formed already and one's playing 2 and everybody's talking about a top of the table clash. It's basically because of the good start that both of us have had. Scunthorpe are a force to be reckoned with, always have been. Doesn't matter how many times I've been to Scunthorpe, it's always been league football, whether it be EFL or even higher. And it's always a tough challenge. It's never an easy place to go. They're called the Irons for a reason, you know. They're solid characters. They normally have solid teams and well organised teams, and nothing will change. But we're going to go there with a brand of football that hopefully will cause them problems, and confidence always causes problems. You know, when you've got confidence oozing out your pores in your own changing room, you've got to make sure that you keep a hold of that confidence and make sure you point it in the right direction. And the right direction is trying to win the game on Friday night.
Someone at Scunthorpe's done a good job, haven't they, really? Because they had back-to-back relegations. It's easy for any club to go into freefall after that, really, financially and on the field. Yet they stabilise it, and clearly on the earlier evidence, they've turned things around a bit as well.
Well, the reason why you go into freefall is mismanagement. The reason why you stop that freefall and turn the ship around, as it were, is down to management, in my humble opinion. I think you've got to make big, tough decisions off the field of play without even seeing a game of football. I think the majority of people that I talk to about Scunthorpe have recognised that, you know, they are making the right decisions off the field of play now, from the hierarchy right the way down. And now the players are playing with a freedom and a restored pride in Scunthorpe itself, you know. And I've always found it a difficult place to go to as a player. Way back in the day at Hartlepool, I can think of the old ground that they used to play at. It was always tin helmets, you know. You put the tin helmets on and you win the battle first and foremost. Just because they've moved to a new ground and you know, they've been through trials and tribulations. I think I'm 40 years old into the game now. I think everybody could talk about trials and tribulations in 40 odd years, you know, and me included individually. But you never go there expecting gifts. You never go there expecting they're going to lie down and let you walk all over them. But the times that they've had hard times is because you could do that. You know, the mismanagement sort of led it to lacklustre affairs at Scunthorpe and people coming away with the spoils readily. That's not the case now. You know, they are fighting for a cause. They are fighting to retain that league status or get back to that league status that you always associated with Scunthorpe United. But we've got our own battles. You know, I don't want to talk too much about the opposition, just about how they play and how they approach the game. We're in a good vein of form, and we're playing with a confidence that is born out of a good pre-season. And born out of results that we've ground out or played our way through. And we've had 5 different challenges, strangely enough, and the 6th challenge, which is Scunthorpe, is against a team that's now flying high, playing at the top, playing good football. It'll be a full house is what I've been told, which again is a challenge for yourself. You know, you've got to go there and stand up and be counted in a cauldron of atmosphere that they're going to be created. But we'll have our supporters there, and you know, regardless of what they throw at us, we should be able to cope with it, deal with it, tactically be aware of it, and then get our foot on the ball, try and dominate possession if we possibly can, and try and silence the crowd. If you can silence the home crowd and there's a full house there, you'll have done half a job.
Couple of strikers I need to ask you about, really. One is Amari Morgan-Smith and how he's coming on. The other is Ben Beresford, who of course limped out of the action here on Monday.
Amari's a good 2 weeks into his protocol, and as I said many times, and I will stick by it until we pass the protocol that's been supplied to us by the FA, the Football Association. You can't do any more than try and protect a player that's had a concussion injury. He's a wounded animal. He's growling around the place, like, you know, you just want to open the cage and let him out. And when that moment comes, it'll be because we've ticked all the boxes, and Amari will be that free spirit again. Hopefully the sooner the better, but it won't be obviously tomorrow night at Scunthorpe. Ben Beresford, unfortunately, has came back with a grade 2 tear in his hamstring, which is the first report. And you know, we'd like to thank Birmingham for doing all the medical protocol that's been required to get the scan through, etc, etc. But he is a Birmingham City player, if truth be known. No, we've looked at the situation. He's been training. Sorry, he's not been training with us. He's been to training today. He wants to stay around the place. He wants to be associated with the club. And because he's on a longer term loan, absolutely, we'll treat with him. We'll deal with him like he's one of our players. And hopefully that recovery will be speedy. It won't be the 8 to 10 weeks that I've been told. Hopefully it'll be a little bit earlier than that, or a lot more earlier than that. But we've got irons in the fire, you know. We've got players that we've been looking at in terms of bringing new players in. But we've got a little gem in Seb Thompson, who put one in the top corner to get the 4th goal. That you won't never underestimate what it will release where that lad's concerned. You know, he's been fighting for his game. He's been fighting for the play. He's been up against it, as it were, from all different angles, and it's been a project, and it's a long project for to get Seb on the field of play. He's now went into the field of play and conducted himself in a manner that will hurt the opposition, and then puts a technically gifted goal into the top corner from a free kick. He wants goals from open play, there's no doubt about it, and I'm sure we'll get goals from open play, but that one in particular shows what level of ability the lad's got, and the more that comes out, the better for us. But will he be starting? Only time will tell when we name the team an hour before the game. But again, we've got players that can play up there. Ash Evans is now playing with the freedom that he's not being tied down to big hard defenders stopping him from playing physically. He's now mobile, and he's come back fitter than ever. In terms of setting a standard at the football club, he's done a fantastic job. So whoever he plays alongside they'll get the benefit of an on top of the ground, an in-form Ashley Evans. But then we've got, you know, we've signed Topi, we've signed Malik, believe it or not, can play as a striker. You know, he played as a striker for Swansea under 23s, and he got something like 11 goals in 9 games. So he can play in their positions. We've got 1 or 2 irons in the fire, and 1 or 2, hopefully, aces up my sleeve that we can maybe, I don't know, at some stage play them before Amari comes back from his concussion protocol.
It is how long's a piece of string with Amari, but is there a time frame on that, or is it when he passes the necessary tests?
I think the necessary tests are all being, or the boxes are being ticked. He's now, after tomorrow night's game, he'll be 14 days in. A lot of people are saying it's 21 days before he actually can get out there, which will take us to the following weekend. But in the meantime, after the 14-day protocol has been passed or ticked, excuse me, he'll be allowed to go into full contact training, which will be music to his ears. You know, all that aggression, that built up anxiety that's inside the lad will be released on the training ground, hopefully first and foremost, and then whenever he's available and fit and ready for selection, if we've got competitions, because the players who've been in his place have stepped up to the plate and scored goals. Well, Ben Beresford's got 2 goals, and Ash Evans has got 3, and all of a sudden Seb Thompson has now got a goal under his belt, and hopefully the floodgates will open for him. So he'll have a mountain to climb when he comes back, hopefully, and I'll help him climb it, there's no doubt about it. He's a great lad, Amari, and he's club captain, We'll give him everything we possibly can to get him back out there, but as team selection goes, if he's got a player in his way that's playing well, then he's got his shirt. Unfortunately, Amari might have to sit by the wayside. Hopefully that's the case, because I want competition for places. And if you've got a club captain sitting on the bench because he can't play because somebody else is playing better than him, then I'm in clover. So hopefully that will happen.
Is Amari all the more frustrated? He never wished it upon him, obviously, because Ben Barris has now picked up an injury. There would be an obvious opening there where he fit.
Of course. And also, you know, whenever you get an injury to a player, when we've got such a small squad at the moment of first team regulars, shall we call it, you're always sort of looking to your local rivals, your local football teams like the Wolveses of this world, the West Broms, the Birminghams, etc., to try and get another loan in. But, you know, if I haven't got that budget to spend, then, you know, I'm wasting time looking. So it's much better if it does come from within. I know Kobe Hall's been out on loan. And the lad's got now 3 goals in 5 games, which is music to my ears. He's only 17, and apparently, you know, there was some sweets and cake came in the other day. He's just turned 18, so he might be old enough to play for me now. But now Kobe's doing brilliant away on loan, and long may that continue. That's the reason for them loans, you know, the younger lads in particular, to find the game, find a level where they're playing football against men and putting the ball in the back of the net. Hopefully Kobe will come back a new player, and I'll have that competition for places in-house.
You already mentioned you obviously got plenty of players on the books who can play up front if you need to. You also said you're looking outsides. Is there any chance of anybody in before the Scunthorpe game? Or was that
yeah, there's chances. We are in open conversation and discussion with 3 or 4 clubs about players that can come on loan. That window obviously closes with regards to the Premier League after this week. So now, then we'll be talking to league clubs from the Championship down, which is not the end of the world for us, you know, considering we're playing football in Step 2. So with all that in mind, I just think the transfer policy at this level is first class. That you can actually trade right the way through the season. It's brilliant when you've got situations like this. But if you start well, I think that's, I would say, the easy part where the chairman's concerned. You know, you're going cap in hand into the boardroom and asking for more money for more players. You've got a much better chance of that being a yes if you've won games of football and you're playing decent football. I think we tick them boxes at this moment in time. Long may that continue.
So just to absolutely clarify, is there anybody new likely to be in before the Scunthorpe game or not? Possibly, but I can't categorically state that. I really want to reward the players that are in-house if I possibly can. But at the same time, I also want competition for places, as every manager does. You know, you get paid the big bucks is what they say for to make big decisions. And if I've got 3 or 4 strikers to choose from, and if I choose the right 2 or 3, whichever the case may be, you keep the other one quiet. That's the job done. But you only keep them quiet by scoring goals and winning games of football. Last point, is Jack Lambert any closer to a return to the squad?
Jack's getting very, very close to full fitness, in my opinion, and the only thing he'll be missing is games. Then, if I can get games behind closed doors for Jack, it'll be music to my ears. But as was requested, we did put his name out there, and unfortunately, we haven't had anything in return at this moment in time at the level that Jack wants to play at. So, with that in mind, hopefully, Jack will be looking for an opportunity to come back into the fray and back into the fold, and apply his trade at Kidderminster Harriers. I think you've got to ask Jack that question. What I'm seeing on the training ground is a guy that's committed to playing for Kidderminster.